Mr. Guterres, can you describe the situation for Tunisia and at the border?
Well, it's a dramatic humanitarian situation. In a few days, more than 100,000 people crossed that border. Many were Tunisians and Egyptians, but there are also Libyans running out of the country because of the conflict. There are nationals of other countries. And the pressure is such, and the lack of capacity to respond to this pressure and to respond to the needs of these people, this lack of capacity is so dramatic that it is absolutely essential to immediately do a massive humanitarian evacuation. That's the reason why the International Organization of Migrations and UNHCR have combined its efforts, and that's the reason why we are appealing to all countries in the world to put planes, boats, other assets to financial support this operation in order for us to make sure that we are able, in a few days, to decongest this situation, to help people go home to their countries of origin, and creating also an adequate protection space for us to be able, as a refugee agency, to deal with those that will not have a country to go back home because they come from Somalia, or they come from Eritrea, or from other countries that are themselves producing refugees that were living in Libya and now find themselves in a very dramatic situation.
So what you are appealing, you have appealed now to the international community, to governments. What specifically are you asking them for, and what kind of response are you getting?
We have tens of thousands of Egyptians, of people from different countries in Asia, different countries in Africa that want to go home, and it's vital to bring them home. And so we need planes. To move to Egypt, we need boats, and we ask countries to put these assets at our disposal, IOM and UNHCR, in this massive humanitarian evacuation program, and also to support financially this program in order for us to be able to meet the pressing needs of these people.
What kind of response have you gotten so far?
Until now, I see a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of commitment, and I hope this commitment will translate itself into massive support for this operation.
Just a question about the people still trapped inside Libya. What would your message be to the international community about these people?
Well, the biggest tragedy is of the Libyan people itself, and the Libyan people is suffering so much, and it's absolutely essential to stop this carnage. At the same time, we have also in Libya lots of Africans, and because of the fact that the government used African mercenaries in the fighting, there is a risk of people making a confusion and blaming all Africans to be linked to these operations. And of course, the overwhelming majority are innocent people that were working in Libya, some of them not even having a country to go back. And so it is absolutely essential to protect these people, and it's absolutely essential to appeal to everybody to have their doors open to receive them and to protect them.
Just final question about Europe. What should Europe's role be here? I mean, there is some concern that hundreds of thousands, even predictions that millions of people will come and knock on Europe's doors. What is your message
Well, I
to
think
Europe?
first of all, it's important to prevent, and to prevent is to stop this carnage, and to do everything within the context of the international community to solve this problem. Then to support Tunisia and Egypt. They have been extremely generous. They opened their borders, and they are countries in a very difficult situation, in a process of democratic transition. I think this is a huge challenge for them. They need the solidarity of Europe. And of course, if some people will cross the Mediterranean, Libyans, for instance, if this turns into a full-fledged civil war, it's very important that Europe also assumes its responsibility as a continent of asylum. I have recommended to the European Council of Ministers of Justice and Home Affairs, when I was in Brussels last week, if there is a massive flow of Libyans fleeing conflict into Europe, my suggestion is to use the European legislation that allow for a temporary protection regime to be established as probably the most practical way to guarantee protection for these people. But let's hope not. For the moment, what we are seeing is a large number of people going into Tunisia, going into Egypt, not so many Libyans, probably only 4,000 until now. It's essentially workers from other parts of the world that were working in Libya. But for the moment, I think what is important is to support Tunisia and Egypt in the fantastic efforts that they are developing.